What's going on, everybody? I appreciate y'all for tapping in. It's another thing, another episode of Den in the D. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Just waiting for co-host for this little video, man. Speak easy, Woodward Sports, man. Y'all definitely make sure y'all tap in. You heavyweights. I say 5 to 7, Monday through Friday, man. I love their content. I love the stuff. I've been following it for a minute now. Listen to it. It's getting off work, things like that. So y'all definitely gotta make sure y'all listen to it too, because their content is good and keeps it flowing, keeps it interesting, man. That's definitely somebody that you can, listen to for a time because they definitely end up going. They work well together. So I think it's a good thing. We're just gonna give it a few more minutes just to see if you tap in with us. But you know what? No, we're gonna get started and then see if he can tap in when he gets to it. But you know, today's thing, I wanted to see if is Brad Holmes not only a good GM, is Brad Holmes the best GM in the NFL right now? You know, the trade deadline just go through, they end up getting Donovan Peoples Jones to replace Marvin Jones Jr., had to leave out because personal reason, whole everything's okay with him. So, in the midst of all of these things, I was just like, how did Brad Holmes really came in and changed the culture. Like he didn't just come in and just drop, his name and just was like, okay, overnight you just was good. Like we had to go through the trial and error and had to figure a lot of stuff out. And that's one thing that I like. He brought, you know, Brad Holmes came in, brought Dan Campbell, brought Aaron Glenn, and I was just like, I didn't really know these players for real. I didn't really play these players for real, and I didn't see them when they were in the NFL. But I like the fact that he picked up. What's up, Biz? But I didn't really like the fact that he picked up older, people that's been in the NFL because they've been through it. They know how to do it. They've been through the grind, been through the hustle, and they see how it goes to making it to a team where you improve each and every week. So that was something I thought was very interesting. So that was something I appreciate for him for bringing in that knowledge. But the first year, I'm covering my mouth right now. But that first year was brutal. I'm not gonna lie. That first year was very, very brutal. It was hard to deal with. It's hard to listen to. It was hard to really get a feel for, you know, where the team was going because they had a losing record. So it's just like, dang, man, this is like a repeat of Matt Patricia. Like, what's gonna happen here? Because this guy really not showing you that he gonna get any better. Like, it's like, this is still horrible. Then you traded Matthew Stafford, end up getting Jared Goff. Like, yeah, Jared Goff ended up making it to, yeah. I like Jared Goff never, made it to the Super Bowl and really didn't score. So, everybody was like, trading Matthew Stafford. We know who Matthew Stafford is. Matthew Stafford, when he was with the Lions, was Mr. Fourth Quarter. Granted, they called him Mr. Fourth Quarter because we was losing so much that by the time you got to the fourth quarter, you was probably already losing and you was about this close. And then Stafford sometimes threw a pick and then you just lost the game. You just lost our hope. Or sometimes you end up catching the ball and running it in, you end up winning last minute. So it gets your heart pumping like this. I know me being a Lions fan, it got me like this all the time. So, I that's something that I was kind of nervous about the first year, but then it got better every time. One thing I like, and I'm not really sure if he has something to do with it, but I would like to see if he did. I would like to talk to him and see if he did, was everything with Calvin Johnson. Now, everybody, the real Lions fans know that Calvin Johnson is the best wide receiver in the NFL history. I don't care what nobody say. So for him to leave early, he was getting banged up a lot. So I can understand, you worried about your mental, you worry about everything. So I would rather wrap it up a bit earlier versus play long term and then have CTE problems. So I understand that. But the issue that they had with the franchise was the fact that they took that money back. And it's like, man, I came out here every weekend, put my life on the line pretty much to be here. And y'all just kind of like left me. Like, it's kind of bold. Like, I totally understand that. Hell, if I had $1 million, I would have gave it to you. Like, here, man, like, y'all need to fix that relationship. But really, soon as Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes came in, he fixed that almost immediately. They was like, yeah, they don't speak in terms now. And I'm like, is this because Sheila Ham came, or like what happened? Like, this is nice, man. Hey, Biz, no, I'm sorry, man. It's not Jerry Rice. Calvin Johnson is the best. That's like the best running back in history. Barry Sanders. Hey, y'all can say what you want to say, but no, it's Barry Sanders all day, man. I got an autograph signature for Barry Sanders, man. I almost busted into tears when I seen that. I was just like, yeah, I was holding it like this, like to see if it would float, because I was like, man, like this right here is something else. But going back to it, I was just more like that relationship. I really hope they fix. I really hope they fix that relationship, because Calvin Johnson is a lion, so he needed to come back to the team and just being in there, showing these people and teaching the young wide receivers how to be better and things like that. Like, I definitely enjoyed it. Oh, we got Easy right here, y'all. Hold on, let me tap him in.
Yo, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? I can hear you.
What up, man?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Microphones. I apologize.
Are you all good? I'm gonna cut you up, son.
All right, bet.
Yeah, I was just talking about I was having kind of my boy Biz locked in on me right now too. I was just telling him, I'm like, Barry Sanders is the best running back in the NFL. I don't care what nobody say. And he said Jerry Rice was the best wide receiver, and I said Calvin Johnson, but we gonna see. But like I said, I think Calvin Johnson though.
I mean, I'm gonna show him on the right microphone. I apologize. I'm gonna end up muting all these. It's tough because like Jerry's got the team credentials, but like as an individual, I don't know that Jerry's doing the things that Calvin did, and like I don't know. I feel like Jerry's in a complete team. Yeah, great. I don't know. Jerry's numbers are untouchable too. Jerry's number one. I want to be biased, say Calvin Johnson, but you can't really touch like what he's doing, like numbers wise. Like,
yeah,
Jerry's done it all for real.
Yeah, I got you. I get it. I can see both arguments, man. But I was just like, I got to see how it works with this, because right now I'm just like a little skeptical. I'm like, I seen Calvin Johnson play. Like, I would love to lie to y'all and tell y'all I watched Jerry Rice, and if I did, I don't remember.
That's the thing too. Yeah, so, I didn't watch Jerry. I didn't watch Jerry either, but you can watch the highlights and you're like, damn,
Yeah, most definitely. Like, even it's crazy to say that now. You like Chad Johnson or Chad Ochocinco, however name you want to say it. Like, I would watch him, I was just like, yeah, I definitely understand why this guy's like talked about as much as he is. So I definitely see why he is, I can't say the best, but I definitely understand why everybody's saying that he's a good wide receiver.
Yeah, I can't. You talking about Jerry or Ochocinco?
Ochocinco.
Yeah, Ochocinco's him. He's one of the he's cultural. He's iconic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. He did shit for the game type.
What is it?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you now. Somebody put something in. It's like, do we think Monty or Gibbs? I can't see it. Got more work this week. Ooh. Okay, so they say, do we think Monty or Gibbs gets more work this week from a fantasy perspective? Now, veer off from the conversation for 2 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and I got to roll with Monty. I have Gibbs on my fantasy, and I would love to say that Gibbs is going to get a lot of attention like he did 2 weeks ago. But Dave Montgomery is the truth, man. Like, I like this guy. Before, like, when he missed that week because of injury beforehand, I was just like, man, like, this guy's crazy. Like, he's going through people. Like, that's the one thing that I liked about Jamal Williams. Like, you could definitely make when Jamal Williams was here and him being vocal, and the fact that he like anime, I was just like, yeah, I like this guy.
Jamal Williams.
So
that's why Spitty loved him too.
So, but he was so vocal. That's why I understand why they didn't pay him. But Monty, I think Monty's gonna go crazy this week. But they say that they should be end up splitting it. So I'm gonna pray that Gibbs does more, but I definitely think Monty's gonna end up taking the fantasy points away from him.
Yeah, I think we saw like firsthand, like Monty was the preferred back, and I think between the 20s, maybe you'll find some even amount of carries, but like in the red zone situations, that's Monty game. That's Monty ball. You know what I'm saying he's a bigger dude, he's a thicker dude. I think he runs more physically. The thing I love about Monty, if you remember back, like when he's healthy, like I was like, almost every single run was for like 4 yards, even if he got stuff in the backfield, because he falls forward too, So I think for fantasy wise, you're more likely to get touchdowns with Monty than you are Gibbs. But I think Gibbs gonna, he's gonna slow roll. In between 20s, it'll be even. But if you want fantasy wise, Monty's probably gonna get those goal line situations the same way Jamal Williams did last year. So I'll go with Monty.
Gotcha. So yeah, before you got in, man, I said a video about like, is Brad Holmes a good GM?
Yeah, I saw it.
And I say yes. I'm like, I think honestly, just for the simple fact that San Francisco doing so well, I can't say he's the best, but he's definitely top 3, but like best general managers that in the NFL, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta see this thing fully develop, but I don't hate that take at all. I think what he's done for a franchise has never seen it. The amount of value he's found in late rounds, he's top 5, top 10 for damn sure. Number 1, I probably have to give to Howie Roseman. Number 2, I probably maybe John Lynch.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying.
After then, I mean, maybe start having some more conversations. I mean, this is just off the top of my head, but it really looks like it depends like where you fall with Les Snead too, because the Rams been good for a minute. Obviously, they were down bad last year, but that's mostly due to injury. And he has a Super Bowl coming off of recently, but who I think is underrated too. But is Pete Carroll the GM in Seattle right now? Is he one calling the shots, drafting whoever?
I don't know. I know if he's the head coach still, but I gotta look at who's
I know because they got what Kenneth Walker was a 2nd-round pick. Before obviously they grabbed Witherspoon this past year, but last year they had what the hell's his name? He was a dog though. I might just look it up right now. Tariq Woolen.
Yeah, I know
5th-round pick. They got Kobe Bryant. Remember, he was at Cincinnati, opposite of Sauce. Like they drafted a straight ass team, honestly, and then they made a good move at the deadline for Leonard Williams. And offseason they signed Dramont Jones from Denver. Like Seattle's got like a low key good GM, just piecing their stuff together too. And they never really skipped a beat. Like we had to like drop down like the top of a draft for 1 year. They never really had to do that.
Yeah, that's why even like trade. I like Russell Wilson as a person. But as a player, man, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with him in Denver. So I'm like, they made the right move because Geno picking it up and being like one of the most accurate quarterbacks and not only are you winning, go to the playoffs, but you also having top 5, top 10 draft picks. I'm like, this is the best of both worlds. Like y'all competing for a championship and you getting a high draft pick.
Exactly.
Like, that's it. Y'all straight win. That's why I said I can't hate on y'all with that one.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, he's doing it.
So, but the one thing I say, and I saw y'all people be talking about. I know you guys be talking about it on your show a lot. I was talking about, is Jameson Williams? Is it too early to call Jameson Williams a bust?
Oh man, I think. I mean, it depends like what you consider a bust, right? Because he was taken like 12th overall, and I don't think he's produced to like that standard at all. But to be honest with you, like there's still a lot of time left, and the Lions are 6-2, so it's kind of hard to bitch about too much right now when they're winning games. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
I don't know if he'll ever live up to like the number 12th overall pick. But as long as we have Ben Johnson, I have faith that this kid's going to start doing something soon. I think we have to accept the fact that like we're not going to get like a consistent performance out of him week to week. I personally don't think he'll be one of those premier pass catchers. Like, and to be real about it, like Dan Campbell said in the beginning of the year, I remember we talked about it on the show on the heavyweights. He was like, he's never really going to have like those great hands, but he's going to be there for the big plays, and that's what we've seen so far this year. I'm saying he's there spottingly for big plays, but he's not consistent enough. So I don't think he'll ever reach superstar level, but bro, on a Ben Johnson offense, he's definitely going to be a threat. He's got to catch the damn ball, man.
Yeah, like the one thing I've been saying, and I said it before, I'm like, I just don't like how they're using him right now. Like maybe later on they'll finally figure it out, but it's just like, hey, run as fast as you can, and we'll just throw it deep. And
So
then I'm not sure what's. Oh, go ahead.
No, go. I'll say because Herman Moore said something like that too, but like, I think I'm calling BS. We've seen him on routes opposite of that. Remember he had the drop against the Panthers game. That was kind of like a short yard slant. He had a couple of screen passes that he had and bubble screens that just went for like negative yards. He got tackled right away. Like he's been given opportunities in like short yard situations. He had that one comeback route against the Buccaneers. Like he's had yards that he's had routes that like are, you know what I'm saying, intermediate to like long. He's just not consistent catching the ball, man.
Yeah, because he shows that the drop passing. Yeah, you definitely got to stop that. Like that's one thing. That's why I even said, like, I don't know something about the Lions at this point, because even when the Lions drafted, I hate to go so far back, when they drafted Eric Ebron, the reason they drafted him was because they were like, this guy just like never dropped the ball in college. Like he was consistent with that. Like he kept the ball. He may have took a big hit, but he kept the ball. As soon as he got with the Lions, it's like that was the number one thing that he was known for, is just dropping passes and giving up. I'm like, what's when you come to this team and just like go stale? Like, what's up with this? Like they do that a lot. But I agree with you, Wood. I agree with you because it's a lot of stuff that's like, man, if you pay me that much money, bro, I could have caught the ball, like for real. That was one that just like smacked off his helmet. I was just like, what was that? But sometimes, but the one when it was when Monty ran in and he made the good block, I was like, yeah, this is nice. I like the fact that he did this, but it was more just like, that's not going to show up on a stat record or anything like that. But I like the fact that you're doing something, but it was still going on. And I was just like, what's happening here? Because you kind of playing like kind of passive for real. I'm like, I don't really like it.
That's the thing too. I noticed, like even back in training camp, but he gets bumped off his routes really easily. I know he's not the biggest guy, like weight wise. He's tall, but like I mean, again, it could be too soon to say any of these things, but I just feel like there's a couple positions that feel like hit the ground running in the NFL. One, running back. I think we obviously saw like I mean, every single year there's a rookie running back put up numbers that just astonish you. Obviously not top 5, but damn good ones. And then two, wide receivers. Like they come in the league. Jordan Addison's balling out right now. Puka Nakua's balling out right now. Like the wide receivers is like one that catches on pretty quick. And for Jamo and I get he hasn't played a full season have a full season of judgment to have on him, but he's had two years now essentially though in practice reps with Jared Goff and all that stuff. And I just think it is what it is at this point. I'm not bashing him or calling him a bust by any means, but as a 12 overall pick, I don't think he's producing at that standard. But again, I don't beef with it, man. I think he'll still be good for us. Another thing too is I get that Goff doesn't throw the best ball. I'm obviously I kind of like go hard at Goff sometimes, but other receivers have been able to adjust to that. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. He's a starting quarterback. You're gonna have to adjust. You get just to be mindful of that because you have a rookie in Sam Laporta who hasn't taken that long to catch a rapport with Jared Goff. You have the same amount of time with him in the offseason. Actually, more time with Jared Goff than Sam Laporta. He's not having that big of an issue with it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I was able to catch the ball still. Like you saw in the Raiders game, there's that one that was anything that's outside the numbers, Goff's not going to be great at. But there was that one that's kind of like weird. Amon-Ra made like the great catch. It was a bad ball. But you just have to adjust to it at a certain point. Like we get it, the balls are what they are, but there's other people on the team still being productive with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So I don't know. I'm still high on Jamo. I'm not superstar high, but I think he'll be effective for sure.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I was definitely one of them people like before the trade deadline. I said trade him, but this is the reason why I said it. This is why. I'm not saying because he's like a bust and he sucks and he's trash or nothing like that.
Yeah,
I was saying more. I'm like the window for the line. I don't want the Lions to kind of be like the Bills because I feel like the Bills' window to make the Super Bowl or even really make a contention is kind of close at this point. Like
Yeah.
Josh Allen is kind of doing this at this point, and it's like I can see it. So I'm pretty sure the people that play against him on that field every day is seeing every weekend is seeing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if the Lions and Brad Holmes wants to go in all in right now, then he's a value piece. So he's definitely one of the people that you like, okay, I want to trade him to go get, granted he's gone now, but like Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, somebody that you could put on the side of Hutch and improve the defense. Because it's like you see like Hutch get like this close.
Yeah.
Or you just double team him. And then it's like you just take him completely out the game. But if you have that person on the side of him that's like can come in and pick up where he left off, that defense would be much better than it is.
Yeah, so, I'm saying, hey, I was a bad day for me, man. I was heated, and when I came on the show, that was like the least of what it was. I was screaming in my car. I felt like defeated. I was hurt that day, but I think ultimately, after listening to Brad at the press conference, not even directly after listening to him, I had to like probably a day or maybe like a couple days on it. I had to like just come to grips with like I have higher expectation of this team this year than he obviously did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously he feels like they're still building because when he hit that podium, during the trade deadline, he's like, teams are in different phases, teams are different plights, and we're just not at that stage, or you're somehow alongside like still building of where they wanted to be. And once he said still building, to me, that told me he doesn't see this team as a Super Bowl contender. And then as a Lions fan, I was like, this is the best team we've ever seen in a very, very long time. So we had Super Bowl aspirations, or at least like we talked ourselves into it. But then I sat back and I looked at the Lions as a whole. Sorry if I'm talking too much, man. I took a freaking Celsius. But no free sponsors. Either way, I took a seat back from my fans' point of view. I looked at teams that actually been beaten. They're all trash. Anytime we face a team above 500, we beat the Chiefs to begin the season with, but if we are being real, it was without Travis Kelce, and it was without Chris Jones, and they clearly look different, I'm saying, with those two in the game. The defense like top 10 now. But and then the other team we faced above 500 was, and I'm talking about like they're probably going to end the season above 500, not like when we face them. Like, I'm not counting the Bucs as above 500 team. They're probably not going to finish the season above 500, you know what I'm saying? But you talk about the Seattle, Ravens, teams that actually beat the playoffs. When we faced them, we lost. So it's like maybe there is some still steps to build to actually be that contender that I thought they were just because of their record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely understand where you're coming from. That's one reason why when they beat the Chiefs, everybody was like, "Oh, they're Super Bowl. They're winning the Super Bowl." And even the guy, I was just like, he was like, "Yeah, this is it. They're Super Bowl." I was like, "Bro, stop the cat." Like I've been a Lions fan my entire life, and I'm not even about to lie to nobody and tell you that. I'm like, because I need to see it first. And then the following week they went against the Seahawks and lost in overtime. Granted, it was close, but you still lost. And I was like, see, this is why I say what I say right here, because any good team is gonna pretty much, man. Like I seen that, like, man, like, oh, Tyler Lockett's open, it's over with. I called it literally as soon as he did it, and once it was over, I was just like, yeah. Not surprised. I'm not surprised. Like, y'all gave him way too much space, man. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all gave way too much space off the line. I mean, even when they went against the Ravens, granted that game wasn't even worth talking about, but that game showed me just like y'all not ready.
Yes,
y'all not ready at all. And this is what I was happy for. It sounds so weird to say I was happy for a loss. But I was, just for the simple fact that it got all the people that were on this Lions bandwagon off and got them to go somewhere else, because I'm like, this got uncomfortable over here. Everybody's like, yeah, the Lions, I've been rooting them for years. I'm like, no, you haven't. So it got rid of all of those people that were sitting here faking the funk and got them off the bandwagon, and it just got the people that were truly Lions fans. It was like that stage. So I was like, yeah, I'm cool with it. And plus, I said this. This is the reason why I wanted Lamar. Everybody like, Lamar is just big plays. I said it multiple times. Like, if Lamar can learn to pass and stay in the pocket, he will kill any team.
Man, yeah. I mean, like that's the thing too, is like he's never really had an offense built the way they're building it now. Like a lot of the stuff the Lions do is just like brilliancy by the reason why people like D-Rod, Ben Johnson so much is like they'll hit the line in like 12 personnel, which is like two tight ends and one running back. And then, but because of the ability of the tight ends, like they'll call an audible and they'll spread it out, and it'll be like actually, I'm saying like the tight ends actually playing receivers, and now Jahmyr Gibbs, that's why one of the reasons they drafted him too is like now he can run out and play like an actual receiver,
Mm-hmm.
and then just it switches teams up because you pound the ball so much with that 12 personnel, they put extra linebackers in the field to stop the run. But then once you finally, you know what I'm saying, that they're matched up for it, then Ben Johnson spreads it out. That's what the Ravens were starting to do. That's why I noticed in that game against them is they were just calling all kinds of audibles, messing us up. And one thing too, to like the point of like touch on what we talked about beforehand, like Lions, like if they're like the real deal or not. I get that good teams have like bad losses at least once a year, but I think the context of those situations matter too. Where look at the Seattle game, that was our home opener. I think we were completely healthy for the most part. I don't remember if we were missing anybody off the top of my head. I know DJ got hurt in the game, but as a home opener, like we were a ruckus crowd ready to break the record. I remember Dan Campbell was like, "Yeah, I expect them to break the record this week." Like everyone was pumped up. The ski masks were out.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And they had 2 backup tackles too. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't sack Geno Smith but one time. And then it come to like the end of the game. So it's like the context of that hurts because there's a big moment for us we fell flat in. And then you go to the Ravens game, context of that situation. I'm sorry if there's any Jared Goff people listening, but like outside it was cold. So he's not the best in cold weather. He's a good quarterback for damn sure, especially with Ben Johnson, but certain elements he's put in, he's not going to perform well on top of them just being a great defense too. It just the context of those situations, like, okay, they showed some bad characteristics when they go up against these good teams. But I think the Chargers a lot better than people expected too. So it's a good test this weekend as well, but not outside or anything like that, but still a good team.
Yeah, I like the Chargers. I was more. I know Joey Bosa isn't Nick Bosa, but he's still somebody you have to worry about, him and Derwin James.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so I'm like, that's definitely somebody you're going to have to worry about. And I wouldn't just come in just like, yeah, we're just going to win this easy. It's like, nah, like Justin Herbert will kill you if you slack off too much.
Yeah. And I was the Ravens game, I almost picked them, but the fan of me got me last minute. And then this game, though, I'm not as nervous at all. I think we can beat the Chargers for sure. It's got to run the damn ball.
Yeah, because even when they came back from the bye week and ended up beating the Raiders, I was like, yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't expect Devontae Adams to have 11 yards. That's what threw me off. I'm like, how did what?
Yeah.
But I was expecting them to win that game. I think did I cut that game off? I think we was about to we watched it, but I was like half interested because I was like, yeah, I know we won this.
Yeah, we were whooping that ass.
So that's why I was like, this one isn't something I'm really gonna worry about. So I'm like, this one's just like an easy dub, so it's all good. But I really want I want a challenge just to see if they can keep maneuvering and see if they can go through that adversity. And one thing you said in your show, man, it was like probably one of the realest things I heard when it came to Detroit Lions. It was like and I said it in one of my videos. I was like, when the Lions lose, they're gonna blame Aaron Glenn. They do it every time. I'm like, that's so annoying, man. I'm like, that's the one thing I hate about it. I'm like, y'all just keep blaming this guy. I'm like, sometimes it comes to I've seen it. He controls the defense. Sometimes Dan Campbell is a little passive. I'm like, bro, why are you going you got Monty right here? You got 2 yards. Like, go for the 2 yards. He's like, no, go for field goal. I'm like, you playing for a field goal? Like, no, that's not on Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
When that happened, they be, oh, Aaron Glenn is a bum. He needs to get fired. I'm like, nah, we're not gonna put that on him. Like, we're gonna put that right on Dan Campbell's shoulders and know that that's what it is. But I notice a lot of people do that every time they lost. They blamed him for it and say he need to get fired. But then when they won, it was like, oh, he's the best. He ain't gonna be here much longer.
Yeah.
Johnson are gone. I'm like, man, y'all need to pick a side.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, like obviously it wasn't the greatest performance from the defense, but if I'm being real too, like it was. I mean, I've been saying it was a team loss. Like Jared Goff had a pick six, he had the fumble by I think it was Montgomery. It was really uncharacteristic, and then that 1 4th down where I feel like there should have been a flag called on for pass interference, but yeah, man, I think it was just a team loss in general. Like, everyone played their role in losing that one.
Yeah, it was definitely that one was tight, but like I said, it was more. I didn't expect it because I thought they were going to go 2-0, but it was more like I see why, but hopefully they improve. I just didn't want them to lose and just be like, oh, it's over, blow the team up type stuff. But
Yeah,
just as long as it's like, hey, look, we still move, you still winning the NFC North, I'm good with that.
exactly. Give me in the playoffs, and if you win the North, there's a home playoff game. If I'm not mistaken, either way. So I'll take that all day.
Yeah, because they said if the playoffs started right now, I think they said they would go against Minnesota.
Yeah, which I mean,
Like,
give me that. I
I
love
was
that.
like, yeah, you could definitely beat Minnesota right now if you did that. Like Kirk,
Yeah,
I don't, this has nothing to do with the Lions. Like especially after watching the quarterback thing on Netflix, I
yeah,
have a higher respect for Kirk Cousins. And everybody was
yeah.
like, man, he's a bum, he's a slouch, and all this stuff. I'm like, how? I'm trying to figure out what was I watching that everybody thinks that Kirk Cousins is trash. Like, how did
Disrespect.
man? I'm like, I don't understand that because I definitely seen Kirk Cousins. I'm like, man, he was killing us last year. So I don't
Yeah,
understand how this year was like, yeah, he's a bum. We're gonna draft somebody else and replace him.
yeah. For me, with Kirk's kind of like in that golf area where like he's good. You know what I'm saying you can't say he's a bum for sure, but he's not like that next level. But yeah, he's respectable for sure. Like he could hurt you, man. You saw it do the 49ers. The 49ers got a good defense too.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, going back to Brad Holmes, I diverted off into a lot of conversations. So I'm
No,
sorry
you're
about
good,
that.
man.
But same thing with my boy Biz said. I was like talking about Brad Holmes, picking these players in the draft. And just like my boy Biz said, he said he didn't even know who Amon-Ra St. Brown was until the Lions drafted him.
Yeah,
And now he plays with that motivation every time. Like, I know all the wide receivers that were drafted before me.
yeah,
So, and I was just like, that's good motivation. Then he comes out and then he, balls out every weekend. I'm like, I like this guy.
yes, yeah. I'm a Rob, man. He's him. Like he is. Uh, he's I don't have words for it almost because he just does everything the right way. Everything like you're told about just in life in general, right? They say like work hard, bust your ass and like just be dedicated to like your passion and stuff like that. Bro, that's Amon-Ra St. Brown all day. He goes hard. He works the hardest, all that stuff. So I gotta definitely I give him credit. Ooh, am I
Yeah,
still here?
you still there. Yeah, that's one player I definitely say like he didn't miss. Like one thing they even said when he was with the Rams, like people say the same thing about Cooper Kupp. They're
Yeah,
like, we didn't know who Cooper Kupp was until Brad Holmes ran, and then he came to come to the league and showed out. So I was like, so he finds those people later on in the draft, especially this year alone. And it was just like, yeah, this guy is finding like these diamonds, these things and making them into something. So it was like, this guy's like a draft day guru for real.
yeah. Yeah, Brad was cold with that one. That's what I'm saying too. With like Amon-Ra, like from his first year in the league, had like what 900 yards already. That's the thing with JMO is like, bro, these guys come in, they go right away. And maybe Amon-Ra is special. Right? Like maybe you can't, it's hard to speak on that. But like, no, we're seeing Tank Dell this year. A couple rookie wide receivers, Puka Nacua. You know what I'm saying? Like rookie wide receivers usually hit the ground running. Same thing for running backs too. Obviously, Gibbs got his shine his rookie year. Bijan started off pretty hot. Like those two positions, like the expectation for production, I need it quicker than like a quarterback or maybe a defensive lineman. You know what I'm saying a running back, receiver, and I might even say offensive line, but I even give that probably an extra year too because it's like you're facing the best of the best on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
But those two positions for sure, like I feel like you'd be able to hit the ground running. And I'm
Yeah,
Rod did.
yeah, and that's one reason why I was saying it, especially like I said, this year alone, like I can't think of one player in this draft that he didn't hit on. I'm like every round he got a player, and I was just like, yeah, man, this is it. Like I see it. And then they even started, and then every week, they had their rookie mistakes, like always.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times I'm like, man, these guys is going crazy. Even though the week Brian Branch went crazy. I'm still trying to figure out what's up with the mouthpiece in the helmet.
Yeah.
But him, like I was just like, man, like this guy Brian Branch, he ain't He ain't no slouch. Like he's
I mean,
showing like
he don't use it 'cause he's a savage. But I guess the green's something for his dad who passed away. He said something like personal reasons. Never got in depth about it, but I think that's what the green is for.
okay, see that makes sense. See, I knew it
Yeah.
was something. Even when the guy forgot his name, like he helped his dad. Has an inside pocket inside of his jersey of his dad ashes, so he carries one every time he plays.
What, for real?
Yeah, because I
I
forgot
did
who
not know
what
that.
player it was. I gotta look it up, but it was something like that too. And it was like it's like a memento that he keeps with his like keeps his dad ashes with him. That's way he can see him because he's no longer here. I was like, at first I was just like, no, that's kind of. But I was like, no, that's not weird. I was like, that's actually like really a beautiful
That's
thing, man.
hard. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, that would be hard for something for me personally. That'd be something hard for me to deal with, but.
Yeah.
Hey, these players are doing their thing, so I don't see any issue with it. But one thing I know we talked, you guys talked about it on your show. Now, if you could do the draft again, say you in Brad Holmes' shoes right now,
Okay.
the 6th pick, you didn't trade back yet. You got Jalen Carter, Jahmyr Gibbs, or you could trade back. What you doing with that pick?
Damn. I'm probably taking Jalen Carter, if I'm being honest with you. No, that's nothing against Jahmyr Gibbs. They can do amazing things in this. Like, don't any offensive player we draft, unless they're complete and total bust, I promise you, as long as Ben Johnson's here, they're gonna produce. This man got freaking Penei Sewell catching passes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ben Johnson makes everybody work. Josh Reynolds got cut from the Tennessee Titans, who have no receivers when we got him back, by the way. No receivers Tennessee Titans have. They cut Josh Reynolds. He comes here. He's arguably wide receiver 2 on the season right now. Like, he's been straight as hell. Like, Ben Johnson makes everybody work. So, like, Jameer's going to be phenomenal regardless. But Jalen Carter, bro, you look at how, like, premier of a player that Aiden Hutchinson is. Bro, get a Jalen Carter on the inside of that. That defense is just night and day at that point. I think the best defense the Detroit Lions team has ever seen was that 2013, 2014 run with Dominican Sue and Nick Fairley and Ziggy Ansah. And it all started at the defensive line. I've been blessed to grow pretty like close to like Glover Quinn, and that's we speak on it all the time. Is like it all starts right there, the defensive line. That's why they get drafted so early, because you're closest to the ball. You get the closest point of impact, whether it's a passing play or a run play. It's a defensive line. So I would have drafted Jalen Carter, and again, Gibbs still gonna be good. But what round was Devon A-Chain drafted? Like 4th, 5th, and I think he still has more yards than Gibbs right now, because that boy is a beast, Devon A-Chain. He's hurt right now, but I'm talking about the rookie in Miami.
Yeah, my boy Bill, he talking about Myles Garrett. It's like I'm like Myles Garrett would look nice with the Lions, but I'm like, you gotta go. I don't know. You gotta see how that's gonna work in the offseason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I said the same thing. I was like, I don't think that Jahmyr Gibbs is a bum in any way, shape, or form. I definitely think that he's gonna be good. I was hurt because I like DeAndre Swift as well.
Yeah.
But and when he's doing so good in Philly, I was just like even more hurt. Like, man, like this guy's doing this thing. But I was happy for him. So I'm like, you know what? I'm happy that you went to another team and you still shining. But as somebody I think you guy who just told me, like the best availability is availability. So he was injured a lot here. So I'm like, I can understand, trading him and getting a replacement for him. So that way you can, keep going every week. Granted, Gibbs was injured, but you still had Monty to pick up the slack. So it wasn't like you was too hurt. And I see that the Lions are trying to build this run first a lot, and it helps to have running backs like him and Monty together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again, it's like this is one of those picks, man. You draft them, they kind of go right away. I guess outside of A-Chain, I don't know if there's gonna be too many late round guys producing. But I mean, Keon Mitchell had to have a hell of a week last week too. So I mean, there's another guy there. But running backs and receivers, I feel like you can find them later than you do, more often than you do other positions. And like the only reason why I was so impressed over the trade deadline, another thing too, was like I get they don't feel like they're done building, but I also don't know how long Ben Johnson's about to be here either. And I feel like he's a big part of what they're doing right now. So it's like if Ben goes, I just don't know what to expect out of this team, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I said the same thing as well, because I was like, when you It's kind of how Philly was. I'm like, when you have a team that does so good, you don't really have to worry about. Well, one, you have to worry about them snatching your players,
Yeah.
but also you have to worry about them taking your coaching staff and trying to implement that same thing. That's
Yes.
why, like, a lot of Philly coaches gone. I was like, man, they did that quick. Like, they didn't make they
Yeah.
lost to the Super Bowl, and it was like, man, this guy's a head coach. This guy's a head coach. This guy's a assistant coach. This guy's. I'm like, golly, like I wasn't playing. But it makes sense because they were trying to implement it. But I see Ben Johnson's name was keep coming up, and I think something just came up yesterday or this morning. I want to say after the whole Panthers losing, they're like fire Frank Wright and bring in Ben Johnson to help Bryce Young improve. And I'm like, I would hate that because I like Ben Johnson being here, but I understand it from a Carolina Panthers standpoint because you're trying to make Bryce Young better. And right now, he's just like CJ Stroud's killing them. So it's like, man, it's like I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's the other thing. I'll say this. I don't know if we'll lose him to Carolina just because, like, remember the reports back during the hiring process? He was like the favorite to get the job. They never ended up going. So I don't know if it's either false rumors or if like I think their owner is kind of sketchy. Like he tries to like butt in a little bit too much. David Tepper, I guess they wanted to draft CJ Stroud, who obviously looks like the best quarterback of the class as of now, and
Right.
he was just pressed on Bryce Young, and he's the owner. He calls the shots. He made your paycheck, so you had to do what he asked for. It was for Bryce Young, and obviously that was a decision that might affect their franchise, might hurt them a big time because the way their season's going right now, they could possibly end up with the number 1 pick and have Caleb Williams, but it's not their pick. They moved all the way up to grab Bryce Young, who he looks like he needs a lot around him to work.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things why I understand why Arizona was like, yeah, we're not trading out of this because they knew like I feel like Kyler Murray is going to be gone, but that's why I see it was like I can understand that, but I think what's his name? The Jacksonville owner said the same thing. He was like, whoever I hire here before they got Doug Peterson, he was like, I want to have say so. The owner said I want to have say so in the season every now and then. I was like, that might stop a lot of people from wanting to come. But then they got Doug Peterson, but I feel like they're making the right decisions though. So
yeah,
I see that, but he may be just entitled to one mistake. But if you keep doing this over and over, it's like, man, we got to talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Ben Johnson, you're so young in your career, you're about to go possibly make yourself look bad if you sign up to work under David Tepper, who's gonna like want to call the plays and shit like that and ruin your career because obviously he don't know what the hell he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Ben wanted to do that. I don't think we lose him to Carolina if we lose him.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to see how this offseason goes, especially with the draft being in Detroit this year. And that's another thing people were talking about before the deadline. They were like, I don't want to trade the number 1 pick because the draft is here.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell does that have to do with anything?
That's
the stupidest shit. I'm like, it's not giving up every round to go get a player. Like, it's just the first.
Like, obviously I could see like it'd probably be exciting if we had a pick like here in Detroit, whatever. But like if we were in a Super Bowl position, you'd rather have that Super Bowl than a damn draft pick.
Exactly. I'm not about to like I plan on going to the draft, especially when it being downtown, but I'm not about to be like, yeah, like who's the 31st, 32nd pick that's coming here? Like that's not something I'm gonna be like looking forward to. I'm gonna be looking forward to what you said, a Super Bowl win and playoff win. They ain't one playoff win in what they said 31 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I want that. I'm sorry, I'm not even on the field, but I'm pretty sure that will mean way more than this player that's coming so late in the draft.
Facts.
But now, one question I did want to ask you: with Hayden Hooker being gone for for this season, Goff coming up. I'm gonna just speak plain. I'm not gonna stir it up. Do you think that Goff is actually worth like another $100 million?
Man,
because I figured they drafted Hayden Hooker for a reason. So is he gonna be the person that replaces Goff, or he's just gonna be like a perfect backup? Like
They want him to replace Goff, bro. I promise you they do. I mean, look, if he doesn't look the part, Goff's going to get the deal. But if he looks the part, they're going to wait on Goff. Or if they make any type of commitment to Goff, it might be like on a 2-year deal, the same way like Geno got one. But hell, bro. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be respectful about it. But fuck, no, hell no. I want to pay no jerk off $50 million goddamn dollars, bro. Are you kidding me? Did you watch the Ravens game? One guy was worth $50 million. The other guy did not at all. He can't throw in the wind. You're playing the NFC North. Where like Chicago, bro. I hate the Bears. I'll be the first one to disrespect them, but I'm always real as shit. Next year, they can end up with Caleb Williams and grab Marvin Harrison Jr. and still have DJ Moore. They could be scary as hell after next year's draft class. And you have to go to Chicago to go play them in the outside where you know your quarterback can't play in the goddamn outside. I'm sorry for swearing, but like bro, that's hell no. I don't want to do that. Hell no. I mean, but he's good. I'm not gonna lie, he's good, but I ain't paying him $50 million, especially if Ben Johnson leaves. You remember what this deep team looked like before Ben Johnson? It was, bro, we talking about going 0-17 before he got involved with the offense. 0-17.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the guy that came. Oh my God, Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
When he came, even he was playing so mediocre. Dan Campbell took up the play calling. I'm like, he was like, yeah, I'll take over from here because like you dropping the ball a lot. And I was just like, yeah, I definitely understand, man. But
and the thing a lot of people don't know, when Dan Campbell was calling plays, he was calling the plays, but you know who was drawing them up? Ben Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so people think that like Dan Campbell's the reason the offense picked up. No, that was Ben Johnson still because he was drawing the plays up. Dan was just calling them.
See,
so you pay Goff, Ben Johnson leaves, you're cooked, bro. Yeah, I mean, you can make a good hire, but like it's the same way. Perfect example, Jimmy G. Jimmy G was going to the Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. Now without him, dude's a bum. He looks like one of the biggest scrubs in the league. It's like good coaching makes players look great. Matt Ryan won an MVP under Kyle Shanahan. Like it changes. It changes if you lose a good coach like that.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I was telling who was I want to say it was Trevor Lawrence. He was like, man, he's like I've been with this team. Yeah, he was like, I was with this team for this year. He's like, and each year they keep changing it. And you can tell from when he was getting irritated with it, but he was learning through it. That's why when they got Doug Peterson, he was like, okay, cool, we good.
Yeah.
Because he was struggling at first. They was trying to figure out who he was. And I'm like, man, this guy's just like taking hits. Like the truth. I love seeing him in Clemson, but right here it's like, like y'all playing horrible.
That's a perfect example. Straight
scrub.
Bro, look at Tua. Tua under Brian Flowers, bro, like not the greatest. He's getting picked on. People making fun of him. Tua with Mike McDaniels, dude's first in touchdowns and first in the yards this year. You also got Tyreek Hill too, but like it makes that difference. You have those offensive coaches like that.
Yeah, most definitely. That's why I say that's one reason why I say saying a lot about coaching and everything. And that's the reason why. Like when me and my boy Biz, man, like we dropped our video for playing against Kansas City, I was like, I felt like the Lions were still going to beat Kansas City to start the season off.
Yeah.
But I was like, but losing Eric Bieniemy, I was gun ho, like that's gonna mess them up.
Good example too. That's another good example.
And sure enough, I'm like, yeah, Kadarius Toney was. Well, I don't know. He had soap on his hands, so I don't know what the fuck that was about. But I don't know what that was about. But I'm like, man, like, what's up with this dude? Granted, it was helping us out, but I'm like, man, if he at least caught like 2 of those, it would have been over with.
Yes.
But every time he dropped it, I was like, okay, great. That was somebody missed that, but we gonna get it together because that definitely was something that helped it work. Like I said, worked out in our favor. But I'm like, man, I had an attitude for like a day because they were like, asterisk win. I was like, man, hell no.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, Kadarius Toney, if he had caught, like I said previously, if he had caught 2 of them passes, you would have lost. And then you play without Travis Kelce. Chris Jones was still trying to get that contract together. So I understand it, even though me being a Lions fan, I was at work. I'm so glad I didn't get fired. But I was screaming. They were like, hey, you got to do stuff. I said, man, hey, look, the game on. Like, I got y'all as soon as it go on commercial, but I had the
Yeah.
flag on. I was going crazy, screaming. I was like, I wanted this game. I wanted them to win, especially with it being a season opener. I was just like, yeah, I was looking forward to this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, bro, whatever. Put an asterisk on it. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna take the win on my record, and we're gonna go to the playoffs with it. But you're right. Like they didn't have those two people, and it's just you can't really. I'll take the win. Don't get me wrong. It's just I just won't like parade it as much as like I did at the time, which is still us to be the Chiefs either way, bro. Like I still love it, especially in Arrowhead. But I see what you're saying, 100%.
Yeah. So that's why I totally get what you're saying even now about Ben Johnson. Hopefully he stays. They pay him out a little bit, and that's one thing I even said previously. That was before you came on. I was like, paying people. I was like, because I know even before Brad Johnson and Martha Ford was still there before Sheila Ham took over. There was a lot of issues with like contracts and stuff, and like that's the reason Calvin Johnson stayed away from the team because of that whole money before he left. And I'm like, man, Brad Holmes came, Sheila Ham came, like they came in and they fixed a lot of those relationships.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but are they willing to, if a player is really worth it, the player is going to push you over into being Super Bowl contenders. Do you think they'd be willing like to pay people now? Because I really haven't seen it just yet.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I like Jamal Williams. I think I kind of him playing with the Saints is like kind of bittersweet because I still want the best for him, but it's just like, yeah, you got to figure it out. I didn't think he was going to have a repeat of last year, but I like Monty as well. But it's like I feel like you should have paid him, but drafting somebody like you could have literally paid him the same contract you gave Monty. He would have been like, he would have accepted it.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about Jamal Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Monty's better than Jamal, so I ain't even tripping off that one. Like, I love Jamal, but like, look at him now. Look at him before Ben Johnson, the Detroit Lions offensive line. Like, he really was like the Lions offense. All due respect to Jamal, they kind of made him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's a great offensive line. So I was really tripping off him getting paid, but that's a great question. I think we'll find out when Amon-Ra's contract comes up because Penei, we got a 5th-year option on him still, but Amon-Ra after next year he'll be ready to re-sign, and you know how receivers are, they might sit out in the summertime until they get their money. So I'm see what he's gonna pay Amon-Ra.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad like we got some time to figure it out. But if you had, I think once again, y'all pitched this question again, man. Hey, and also, I said it to start the show off, man. I'm gonna say it again. For everybody that's listening, man, y'all gotta tap into the heavyweights, man. Y'all listen to them. I listen to them all the time. Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, man. Y'all gotta listen to these. But one of the questions y'all ended up pitching again was, like if you had to pay, you only can pay like maybe 2 of the 3 players in between Hutch, Penei, and Brown. Who you not paying out of those 3?
Damn. Because you're making me pick a name. I gotta say somebody. Probably Brown. Probably St. Brown. Again, just because those receivers they come abundance, man. Like even we are at our lowest, we still found a Kenny Galladay in the 4th or 3rd round. So that's probably the easiest one to replace over Aiden Hutchinson and Penei Sewell. Like those 2 positions are harder to replace versus like a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like okay. Tyreek Hill is a 4th or 5th round pick. He's like arguably the best receiver in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, he was drafted in the last pick 31 or something like that, or pick 30. Freaking what's his name in LA, the white dude, Cooper Kupp, late round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like wide receivers, there's so many late round picks where it's like those premier tackles, those premier edge rushers, like they're kind of hard to replace. That's why they get paid so damn much.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I was thinking the same thing, but I really didn't come up with an answer. I was just like, man, let me ask somebody else because because I like Penny. I like the motivation. Even after the game is over, they post the inside the huddle and the speech that he gives them before they hit the field. I'm like, man, like you don't find people like that a lot. You don't find people like that that's going to inspire you to go out there. And he don't play the same position, but I say as far as like motivation wise, I like you find people like if there's a guy that's gonna come out here, he might be like mediocre, but he's gonna give you that motivation every time, like a young Ray Lewis. I'm like, hey, this guy, I don't even know why. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out now. I gotta talk to my mom about that. I was a weird kid, man. I was like, Ray Lewis like got me together every time I watched the game. I'm not even a Baltimore fan, but when Ray Lewis came out there grabbing dirt, I was on the same thing. Like, yeah, come on,
hell
like,
yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, if you could find somebody like that, man, like he's definitely something that's definitely something y'all should pursue because Penny is definitely wants that person. And Hutch, even watch him in Michigan, I'm like, yeah, Hutch is the truth. Right? I just can't wait for him to he's going to get better and better every year. So that was something that I was like, I look forward to seeing him, especially when him coming from Michigan. So I was like, yeah, I like this right here. So
yeah,
I'm glad that he stayed so close to home. But even then, that was the thing too. They were like, what was it? You drafted him too fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding? Like, y'all got months to figure this out. If my guy's there, I'm picking him up. Like, what are you talking about? Waiting too fast? Like should I walk down the hallway instead of ran?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's what I'm saying, man. I really don't get it, but at this point, I see that when it comes to the Lions and Michigan, that's gonna always be something. So I'm just gonna go ahead and smile and just go about my day because it's like at this point, it's always something.
Yes.
So
they say, smile away, boys, smile away.
But man, hey, that's all the questions I got. But real quick, about Michigan. I know you guys were talking about earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Did it make sense for them to let suspend John Harbaugh for Jim Harbaugh for the regular season?
No, if I'm being honest with you, no. I think that was I mean, like, I guess I don't is like an investigation. Is it done? Is the investigation completed? Because if not, I think it's a little bit too soon. But at the same time, if you're Michigan and that's all they're giving you, that's like minimal. It just hurts because that Ohio State game's like crucial. I'm saying to go to the playoffs. So, but it's like just two hands. I'm saying like if you're only getting like 3 games where you're not on the sideline as a coach, like that's straight as hell. But if the investigation's not complete, I feel like they might have jumped the gun a little bit. And I'm a Michigan State fan. I really think this whole thing is so silly. And I think it's like really like, am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I don't want. I'll say B made. I fucking bitch made by Ryan Day. If it was really him, getting private investigators to make it a thing, make a big fit about it, that's like agreeing to a fight because everyone's doing the sign stealing, bro. Everybody.
That's
even at the high school level. So it's like that's like agreeing to a fist fight and you get your ass beat, you want to call the cops. Like you playing the same rule, you playing by the same rules. And because you got your ass beat twice, now you want to like go and like try to get somebody suspended or like end the program. It's like that's wild. That's like to step up and fight and fucking win, bro.
Exactly. And it was crazy is I don't even think he don't think he's gonna bring a significant impact into that game. Like it might. I feel like it would have been a blowout anyway, like a repeat of last year. But with him not being there, I still think that Ohio State's going to lose that game. Yeah. So that's why I was like, it's like, what did you expect? Like, did I expect them like fire him or something? That's the one thing that threw me out. Like, why? What was the point of this? Yeah.
So. Yes. But he keeps flirting with the NFL too. So I don't know what's gonna happen to Harbaugh in the future. If the NCAA is gonna be like this and be crying, bitching about everything. He might just be like, fuck, I'm gonna go to the NFL and just do my thing.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what happens, man. Hopefully in a few weeks, Ohio State plays Michigan. We're gonna see how it happens, man. Is it gonna be 3 years straight, or is they gonna end up breaking that streak? So yeah, I'm a little curious to see what happens, man. But hey, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out to do this.
No problem, man. I appreciate you having me on.
No, hey, man, I hope to have you on here again, man.
Hey, thank you, man.
Hey, but this another episode of Denny the D. Y'all want to thank y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe. Thank God Almighty, like, subscribe. Peace, y'all.
Yes, sir.